Hello, and welcome to this month's RunJumpDev monthly meeting for the month of May. My name's Tim, and we're here today with Chris Figueroa. He works for Unity, and he's also working on a personal project, Snow Horse, which you may have seen GIFs or vines of on the internet. It's been kind of everywhere, and it looks great. Formerly, he's also built a game called Imagine Me a couple of years ago. And I do want to say before we start, we do have a couple of events coming up. In June, we've got the Rules and Play. That's our art gallery for interactive artworks that's going up. It'll be up for about 2 months. And starting the first weekend of June, there's a jam going on called the Kentucky Fried Pixels Bluegrass Jam. And that's happening. It's orchestrated by Game Dev Lou, or Louisville Makes Games, the organization over in Louisville. And they're having a jam on the opening weekend, first weekend in June, and then they're going to have kind of a longer month-long thing that will finish up with a bundle of bluegrass-made video games, stuff from here in Kentucky. So I will now turn it over. Chris, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and about Snow Horse.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great. Perfect.
Okay. Can you see my screen by any chance?
Yes. Okay.
So I'm just going to talk to you guys about Snow Horse a little bit. Snow Horse is really weird, and we're going to go through why this is like an anomaly and why this is kind of important to understand because this isn't something that normally happens to people, and I'll explain why. So first off, I'll just tell you about my past. I worked at Activision Value, which is a small branch of Activision that only worked on licensed titles like NASCAR, Transformers, Tony Hawk, anything to do with licenses. And that was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is originally where I'm from. Then I worked at The Nerdery, which is a small web house. They're a kind of medium-sized company now. They're in Bloomington, Minnesota. I think they have one in Kansas and Chicago and Arizona now. And then my first commercial game outside of Activision and stuff was Imagine Me. It was a small procedurally generated platformer my wife and I made, and we worked on that. And then now I work at Unity, and actually it's my 2-year anniversary today, where I work on Xbox One. And I can tell you guys more about that if you want. But so how did this happen? I made this GIF that you guys see on the screen right now. It's literally a horse 3D model with a box on it, riding other boxes that look like jumps and stuff. And Patricia from Kotaku wrote an article about it, saying like that's right when Tony Hawk 5 was coming out, and it didn't have very good reviews, sadly. And they were saying like this is the snowboarding horse game, or this is like the skateboarding game we deserved. So that's what you're seeing right now. And this is the start of it all. Patricia was the first one to do it. And then next, you can see that IGN did a video, had me do a video for them, and they were saying, like, you can read the bottom. It says, Snow Horse is the version of Tony Hawk games we deserve, tagging Tony Hawk in it on Facebook, which is kind of ballsy. But, and that is at, today, it sits at 896,000 views, which is one of their highest videos, actually, over Witcher 3's trailer on their Facebook page, which is pretty crazy. And those two happened in the same day. So it was pretty crazy, and as you can see, this is what it looks like. It just showed like the menu system and just like me literally making this game up. And how this game happened is I work at Unity, and I was testing some physics stuff, and I just decided to put a horse on a board and make a GIF out of it and tweeted it, and these are the things that happened. And then after that, I tweeted Notch, because Notch had this horse game. It was a horse that climbed cliffs. It was called Cliff Horse or something. And I tweeted it to him, and then he tweeted this, and it exploded even more. And again, this is all from a GIF. This isn't a game at all. This is literally going into Unity and making a box and putting a horse on it and having it go down a hill with rigid body. There is no game at all. And then this happened also immediately after, which was E3 said, hey, what are you playing this weekend streaming it? Give us a link. And I sent them a GIF of Snow Horse. And they replied, I don't know what I'm watching. I like it. I kind of like it. No, I love it. Which is super crazy. So the E3 account tweeted it, and it's just continually going through all of these accounts. Overnight, I went from 3K followers to 15K followers. I woke up with my phone battery dead because I had so many notifications that my phone couldn't handle it. And I had so many emails from IGN wanting more, and it was just absolutely crazy. So the real question is like, now what? Most games never get this. So most games usually go viral after they make a game or after they make a prototype. There's very few games that actually go viral before they even exist. And this is me. I absolutely have no idea what I'm doing with this game. It's literally a snowboarding horse game. Just kind of say that to yourself without laughing. So I just decided to make it a real game. And that's what I'll show you today. Check it out. You don't need to hear it necessarily if you can't. So these are all the quotes from everybody. So that's what I sent people to tell them that this is a real game. It was just small clips and showed quotes from exactly what you saw previously. It was pretty crazy. So 2 years previously, I met Armin, the creator of Goat Simulator, and his girlfriend, Felicia. Felicia was in school for game development, and Armin was working at Goat Simulator at the time. And we both really wanted to work on a game together, but we just didn't know what to work on. And then now that Snow Horse kind of took off, Armin just sent me an email. It's like, hey, I think we know what to do. And since I worked in Goat Simulator, I kind of know how to market this type of stuff. And Felicia was like, I really want to help. And she happened to be amazing at level design. And I'm talking about like one of those people that should be working on AAA games for level design. She has insane amount of talent. And then my friends over at Devolver Digital really came in and helped me market it and understand like what I'm supposed to do at this time. And Unity was pretty happy about it. My boss is really funny. He thinks that this is going to make like lots of money, and I'm just going to leave him, and then he's going to have to find someone to replace me, which he's not very happy about. But it's fine. So I didn't ask for this, but that doesn't mean I didn't want it. And it's super cool. And like I said, it's something you dream of. You want to make a game. You want things to happen like this. Why wouldn't you? And then probably one of the most inspiring things ever happened is one of the lead graphics programmers on the ICE team at Naughty Dog said, your game doesn't fit the norm. Most small studios try to make a smaller version of a AAA game. Snow Horse makes 0 sense, and I love everything about it, which really is inspiring to me because I've never met this person, and he literally added me on Twitter and called me out as the Snow Horse guy. This kind of a huge honor. I really appreciate everything that Naughty Dog does. So, and this is around the same time, probably like a week before Uncharted, the new Uncharted came out. So it was just pretty crazy for him to tell me that. Again, here's me. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I just made this GIF of a horse on a snowboard. And then this is where things get crazier, is that fan art started rolling in. People started catching on to it. It wasn't just something that media was getting a hold of. It was something that people were grasping and wanting to be a part of. This person in Amsterdam made chibi snow horses, and that's what you see right now. They're little stickers. They're adorable. There's 40 of them. You don't see all of them here, obviously, but you can get the point, and they're just amazing and so cute. And then I got stuff like this, and this from May the 4th be with you. Instead, we did May the Horse be with you, which is hilarious. And someone made this for my birthday, which was just May 16th was my birthday, and he sent me this, which is one of the craziest, most amazing things I could ever ask for. And then, of course, probably recognize this person, but Amanda made this flag for me when she was on her way on the train jam. So, and then this is probably the best thing that someone's ever made for me, which is one of my friends, actually, but he photoshopped it, and I use it for everything. That is actually a picture of me under there. And he just stole it from Facebook and did that, which is hilarious. So the community owns this game. I don't own anything. I really, to this day, don't feel that it's my game. I feel that people are grasping what they want from it, and they all love it and want some part of it. And that's why I'm getting all this fan art and getting all these other things. I'm just pushing it forward, and it's kind of exciting. So this is me right now. It's super amazing to be in a position like this. Obviously, people don't ask for it, and now it's just a matter of tweeting GIFs nonstop as fast as I can. And people just keep asking for more and more and more, and they just want to see more. They want more. And that's amazing. So the platforms that I'm doing are iOS, Windows, Mac, Linux, Steam with the Steam SDK, Windows, Mac, Linux, and then Xbox One. And then probably other platforms later, but those are the only ones that I know personally, since I'm the only programmer. This is where things get a little more interesting, is that bronies came to me and wanted a part of it, which is something I'd never thought of. I never had been a part of something like a brony, or never even watched My Little Pony. So being a part of that was really interesting, and meeting those people, they really grasped onto it. They're super nice, and they're a very tight-knit community, so it was so cool, and also really weird because I'd never seen anything like it. And again, Devolver Digital came together. They're partners with XSplit, so at PAX East I got to do a stream with them, and I'll show you that later. And then there's Twitch. Twitch came to me, and this is the first time I'm ever telling anyone this in public. Twitch came to me to be part of the PJ Sultan stream, which is where they take popular streamers and make them play games that are usually not normal, and they try and get the highest score at TwitchCon or PAX Prime or stuff. So Snow Horse is going to be part of the finals for that, and I get to put a Twitch-branded snowboard in my game, which is super amazing. And Alienware sponsored all of our booths for PAX East, which I'll talk to you about also. And I brought this to the PAX East, insane amount of support. People really like horses. It's really weird. Whether people think it's funny and they just because it's a horse, or people that actually like horses. And also, most of the time, people have never heard of my game, but I just had a banner, and I can show you it, and they just stopped and laughed. So this is the banner that I had, also made by some random Reddit user, which is on the bottom left. Pretty hilarious and amazing. I made this in my PAX East poster, and I also have it at my office right now. And then there's those chibi stickers that you saw earlier. I made them into pins, ordered some from China, like 300 or 500 of them, and sold them at PAX East. This is our booth. That is someone random that I just met, came with a horse mask to see Snow Horse. And that is the banner that you see in the back. It's pretty hilarious. And then you'll notice the post-it notes. We did high scores every single day, which was super awesome. And people kept coming back to see if they beat their high score or not. This is our booth. We had 10 games in a 10 by 30, and it was so amazing. We're just like a small, tight family. And we do this every year at PAX East and invite people. And in the top left, you can see the XSplit couch. And that's where I did my stream, which I'll show you right now. And this is me showing Snow Horse at PAX East at the stream. Super awesome to show it. Super happy. These are just people that came out to support me. Again, I don't know any of them. I just met them that day, and they came to support it, which is super awesome. And this is me right now. Pretty much I submitted to the App Store 2 days ago, and it passed. So next is Steam, and then I'm going to do working with Apple to find a good week to release. And then I'll release on Steam at the same time. And that's really it. I just want you guys to see, there's ways to contact me if you want. I just want you guys to see what it's like leading up to something like a release for being viral without even making a game. It's super weird, and something you're just not used to. So it's something you don't hear about either. So, and that's it, really. That's all I got.
Cool. Thanks. Well, so if anyone who's watching out there has questions for us, you can hit up the RunJumpDev Twitter account. If you tweet at us, we'll take your questions. And also, if we have anyone here who'd like to ask questions, you can hop up. We've got a mic set up. Go for it.
Don't be shy. You can ask me anything.
Yes, I'm like, gotta make sure I don't trip. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. My name's Leonard. I had a question. So you were just working on this at Unity, and you were just testing something out, and you just noticed that, I mean, that you were just, it's just, how does the game work exactly? Does it actually, is the horse just falling?
Yeah,
everything pretty much?
It's literally falling, and they have material with zero friction.
Oh, wow. Can you, I mean, I'll be honest, it's the first time I ever actually heard about the game and everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I wasn't exactly sure. I heard about some snow horse and everything from Amanda, but I had no idea. But I have to say, I mean, congratulations just on this, like, sudden, like, oh my goodness, everybody's excited about this and whatnot. So
yeah,
definitely congrats, man.
Yeah, it's super bizarre. I have a friend who's making the music. His name's Vosky. He's kind of a popular DJ in the LA and Minneapolis area. He said it's very similar to how artists must feel with albums. Being popular without a creation is bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, you have so many marketing materials right now, it seems like, so you're just ready to go, it sounds.
Yeah. It's also terrifying.
Yeah, I can understand. I bet, man, definitely. Well, I just wanted to say congrats and stuff like that. Glad you got the iOS and stuff like that.
Yeah. Everyone else good?
Yeah.
Hey.
So I know you've been through kind of the release cycle once, at least. Well, lots of times for your professionally as part of a larger company, but at least on your own project, like Imagine Me was a start-to-finish release.
Yeah.
How does this one feel different from that? Like Imagine Me which was a smaller title with less kind of viral attention.
Yeah.
How does that influence like development, marketing, stuff like that?
I don't have to try as much.
Really?
It sounds really weird, but yeah, it just with Imagine Me, Holly was working really hard to like talk with our small community and just like work on new things that they wanted. But for this, I don't need to. People tweet me and say, hey, I want this. And then I'll just be like, I think I can. So then I'll just try it. And then usually I just reply back with like, maybe, or I'll just reply back with a GIF of whatever they asked working. And that's really how this development cycle is working. It's weird. And that's how the whole game works, by the way. Everything that you see, like from down to how the tricks work to everything, it's literally people just tweeting me and being like, hey, I want this. And that's how it works. So
yeah, so you have to do less solicitation to get the feedback for design.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't feel like it's my game. And I feel like a lot of people are like, I have this creation, I really want to finish it, this is how I want it to be, or that they follow this like game design doc to heart, and it's not even that. It's literally a snowboarding horse. So yeah, that's kind of it. It's weird. And you can customize your horse with like hats and change its snowboard, and a lot of people have given suggestions like a pumpkin head and someone literally sent me a direct file to a 3D badger, which I then attached to the horse, and that is in the game. So yeah, it's just less work. It's really weird.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, we'll see how it converts with sales, but.
Hey. So I'm going to cheat and have two questions.
That's fine.
My first question would be, what prompted you to? I've been following in a super creepy way how you've been doing the open Trello board.
Yeah.
What prompted you to do that?
So my wife, who's Holly Buckets on Twitter, she was the community manager for Unity of all of Americas, and she was the community manager for Imagine Me. She did all of that, and she really taught me how to like show expectations. It's not necessarily about meeting milestones or like doing certain things, but it's about meeting expectations with people. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, give me a good reason why I can't do it. If I didn't do it, why didn't I? And that's what it comes down to. So like this Trello board is just me showing people that care enough to read it to see like what's happening. And it's really interesting because some people will tweet me and be like, hey, the Trello board says this. Like something, or like they'll say, can you also do this while you're doing that? Like how much harder is that? Are they related? And I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. And then I just add another card, and that's pretty much it. And so yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, Holly really taught me how to do all of that. So and I've just kept up to date with it, and it's really helped me meet schedules too. So like the PAX East schedule, I'm taking Snow Horse to E3, so I was just invited for that, which is super cool. So I'll be down at E3 the whole week with Snow Horse, and that was another thing, just meeting the schedule for E3. And then someone from IGN poked me and was like, hey, like we're gonna like I want to see it. We haven't seen it in real life yet. Can you like have this one item that I saw a long time ago? And I took it out. So then I just made a Trello card for it, and they like, sure enough, they like commented saying like, yeah, the Trello card's in there. So it's super cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really about expectations, and I learned that the hard way. So that if I had any advice for you, it's expectations. So
that's cool. Yeah, because it kind of prompted a thing that I've been talking about with other people about, like just open development. Like when Matt Thorson was doing Towerfall, he would occasionally show that he was building these levels and stuff like that, and he would stream that on Twitch. So I didn't know if that was something that was something like you were just kind of going with that open development path, and particularly since the community is so involved with the making of the game, even.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that's obviously part of it, but it's again, it's just meeting expectations and
right.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't I want to show people that I'm making it? Like, it's not secretive. It's a snowboarding horse game. What are you gonna do? Like, yeah. Make another snowboarding horse game? Okay. Like.
So my second actual question would be, yeah. I've not had a chance to play it. So what is my best way of cheating and becoming the best? Like I don't know how tricks work. I've seen GIFs, I've seen gameplay and stuff like that, and I feel like I have a sense of how it plays, but I'm not having my hand. So how do I get the highest of scores? Yeah,
it's really interesting. So a lot of people look at it compared to Goat Simulator, which is totally fine. But it's not like that because it does. There's a time when you're playing Snow Horse, and I've thought this in my head, and I saw it in real life when I brought it to PAX East, that there's a time with Snow Horse where playing around and skill, playing around all of a sudden disappears, and you get bored, and skill comes in. And that sounds so bizarre. It's a snowboarding horse game. Like when he falls, he ragdolls, and. But yeah, there's like this weird moment of skill where it comes down to timing, like how you can land, do the most tricks, and if you do more tricks, you'll get more speed, which gives you more air for the following trick. So the more you land and the more you time correctly, the bigger you're going to get, and that's how you can really like push your scores to like 14 million. And someone at PAX East ended up getting like 16 million or something too, something insane.
Wow.
So yeah, and like I said, it's weird because a lot of people compare it to Goat Simulator, but there really is a time where you can just stop ragdolling and actually try something hard. Like 5 backflips is hard.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So I had a couple of questions from Twitter. One, Eric Lathrop. Oh my gosh. Eric Lathrop asks, what are some changes you made to the game in response to community feedback? You've given a few examples. Is there? Can you give some more?
Yeah. There's plenty. I think the biggest one was that hats, they had weight when I first did them, because it's literally physics. It's all ragdoll, and I just literally added a rigid body and had it go downhill. So when I added a hat to it, it got heavy in a weird way. So one of the feedback that I got was all of the hats were fine except the pumpkin. The pumpkin head is too big because it's a horse, so it's a lot of weight in front. So you could front flip easier, but you could back flip slower. And people, I sent it to this one person who literally had the question, like, wouldn't it be heavier and wouldn't you be able to cheat? And I said, not anymore. I took the weight off of it. It doesn't have any weight anymore. And he's like, oh, okay. And he was perfectly fine after that. But I thought for sure he was like gonna rage at me. So I just like took the weight off of it, and that was probably like the biggest thing. Someone asked if you could grind upside down. Like if you flip the horse upside down and turn sideways, can you grind on a rail with the, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's so bizarre. But imagine trying to grind upside down on a snowboard. And someone asked if you could do that. So I like had to make the specific rail to try it and test it. And then I tweeted him back and I was like, yeah, you can do it, but it's hard. And so he still tweets me to this day saying like, I better keep that rail in so he can try it. And I still haven't, like, I think I did it that one moment and I haven't tried it. I think one person at PAX East tried it and they failed miserably. But you can do it. It's just really hard. So that's things like that. Languages, I think, is the biggest thing. I crowdsourced all of my languages, which was because I had this community behind it. I only asked for 5 languages, and I ended up getting 14, 16 including Klingon and horse. Someone made a horse language that everything is just says neigh. And then, yeah, someone did Klingon, and legitimately did Klingon. Like, that's like a passion of his. So the whole game is translated to Klingon, which is bizarre. But yeah, 14 languages total, and that was something that people asked. They're like, can I have it in my native language? Some people asked that in their native language, and I had to translate it. And then I just made the spreadsheet and then replied back to them with the spreadsheet, and they did the rest of it. So, and I found out really quickly that Snow Horse and the terms that I use, like shredding, and because it goes like 3, 2, 1 shred, and it does like a bunch of different things. They don't translate at all. So that was really interesting to learn. But yeah, I think the biggest one is translations from community feedback and just level design in general. So
cool. Yeah, the translation stuff. I took a look at the asset you were using for doing translations. It syncs up with Google Spreadsheets and stuff. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it's super nice.
That workflow looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, and the person that's creating that is she's super helpful, and she like listened to all of my feedback and changed it. So she was like super active.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know Google Sheets has that translate function. Like you can drop in like equals Google Translate of something to get a machine translation of stuff. But she
use that for rough translations.
Right. Yeah, like Starter or something. Yeah. So Eric had a follow-up. He was asking, how long did the initial surge in attention last? Or I guess, has it let up?
Yeah, so October 15th was the day that it went through, and the only reason I know that off of heart because I did this slide. And October 15th was the time it started at like 2 p.m. or something, and I still get retweets from E3 and still get retweets from Kotaku today. and it's just lingering, and it's not consistent at all. It's super weird. But yeah, it's still going. And then now that I've reached this other audience of bronies and reached this other audience at PAX East, people actually got to see it and like play it, and they just made like these more connections. And yeah, that's I wouldn't say the original hype is there from like Notch tweeting it and things like that, but I would say that it's still going, just in a different form, which is really awesome. And people are more involved too. That's how, like, the translation thing, obviously that's way more involvement than just retweeting or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I think just about everyone would love to have that level of engagement for stuff like translation, where it's hard to make the contacts to get those, to find people who can do it for you or are interested.
Yeah.
So Eric's got another one. With the community driving so many features of the game, how do you know when you're done?
I was supposed to release this game 2 months ago. But what happened is I got really lucky and met some really nice people at Apple, met some really nice people at Valve. Twitch came in, Devolver came in and stepped in. All these super nice people just wanting to help. None of them ever wanting to take anything from me. They just wanted to help, which is so unheard of. And yeah, I just, like, all of these people came in and they're just like, well, you should do this. And Apple's like, well, let's find a good week for you to release. And like Valve helping me not be part of Greenlight, and like all of these things have like continued. So I can't complain that it's delayed at all. And I guess the only reason I know I'm done is because the community is now not asking for features. They're now wanting to play it. There's still like some people that ask for features, but overall a lot of them are like after E3, like a lot of them are like, let's do this. So I think that's after E3 sometime is when it will for sure release. So, but it's always also really hard to find a good week to release. And at the same time, maybe it doesn't matter because my community will be a part of it if they want to. So they already exist. So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone else here who'd like to pop up? Go for it.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey.
I saw you were doing some stuff for Unity's Hack Week that looked really cool. I don't know if you can tell us more than what you talked about on Twitter?
Oh, yeah. So part of the thing with that translation tool that we brought up from the asset store, Unity doesn't have a way to do any translations. And when I worked at Activision, we did multi-translations all the time. And a lot of times you would need really specific tools, like exporting to a specific format called .po, and importing from .po, because that's what translators use when you pay them, and things like that. And so at Hack Week, I really wanted to make essentially built-in support. So your game would have a native language. You'd give it a native language, and if you chose, you can go to a text component or go to anything and give it a key, and then it would follow that key. It didn't care what language it was. It would just pull. So if you changed the native language and you had a string set to that key, then it would pull. And it was just a string table. It's super easy. The biggest thing was supporting 46 languages and trying to get it as small as possible. That was the biggest problem, because if someone has a lot of stuff, and we filled that text table with 46 languages of garbage and just tried to make it as small as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much what came out of it, and we're trying to make that a part of Unity now, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I teamed up with Hiroki. I don't know if you guys follow Unity and who it is, but Hiroki is like the one of the 3 people that runs the Japan office. So he really knew about translations and like how to help with it. So it was really awesome working with him. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
We were stuck in Lisbon for a week for Hack Week, in case you guys don't know. And it was, you thinking being in Lisbon, Portugal would be nice. It was actually like 40 degrees Fahrenheit and raining.
Nice.
So, yeah, for a week. But yeah, that's all I got.
I'll ask one more if you got the time.
Oh yeah, plenty of time. Go for it.
Cool. So, is this the first project that you've done personally that you've been doing so much translation with? And then, because you're doing that translation, do you end up getting a lot more engagement with people who with whom you can't communicate because you don't speak the same language?
Yeah, I learned, like I said, there's some people that would reply in their native language, and I didn't know what they're asking. Luckily, I work with this global company, so I got to ask some people, especially a lot of Chinese people, would reply to me and say that they wanted to play it or something, and they just didn't know how. So I had to essentially ask for these like generic responses of being like, it'll be soon, like check back, or something like that. But that's really cool, though, too, because that shows that there's this market that people don't tap into when they don't translate their game. That it's possible to be part of a community somewhere in another country that doesn't speak English. And that happened with Imagine Me, Holly and I found out, which was super rare. Our game ended up selling best in Russia.
Wow.
Which is kind of unheard of, and a lot of people, the first thing people said was they're pirating your game. But sales say differently. And it was really interesting being part of that. And then our forums were flooded in Russian, so then we had to like have friends help, or we had to try and Google Translate, or try and do like really understand really broken English and stuff like that. So, but it's cool that that can even happen. I really enjoy it. I always encourage people to speak in their native language, anyways. So, and that was another thing. Like, as Holly being the community manager when she was now she's a software engineer, but at Unity. But when she was a community manager, she really helped me understand like that's someone's identity. So, if you can translate your game into something that they've always known their whole life, why not? So,
cool.
Yeah.
And I was also kind of wondering, do you think once this is released, do you see the same kind of community-driven development continuing? Like, do you have a lot of like post-release plans, things that you know are not like things you need to get out the door for release, but things you want to get to?
Yeah, like the iOS version is a small game compared to the Steam version.
Oh.
This iOS version has like a small subset of hats. And small subset of boards and so on, and only 3 levels right now. And then the Steam version is just completely bonkers with weird stuff. It's like the full game. But I had to meet that requirement of getting under 100 megabytes without Wi-Fi, which is really annoying to meet in a 3D game. So that's what I had to do. And then if it becomes more popular, I'll just put out updates and add more stuff for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
So.
Well, I think that's all the questions we have for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, yeah, where can we find you and more information about you?
Yeah, and Snow Horse, you can just go to Snow Horse Game on Facebook, or if you find me on Twitter, it's KINIFI, and I think that you guys are tweeting that and stuff too. You can find that. So, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys know when the release date is and stuff. So.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So this has been the May monthly meeting for RunJumpDev with our special guest, Chris Figueroa, so kind of him, to join us today. And I did want to, again, mention first weekend in June, there's the Kentucky Fried Pixels Game Jam, which is headed up by Alan over at Louisville Makes Games. If you're interested, check it out. Louisville Makes Games has more information. And we've got the Rules and Play art exhibit opening in mid to late June for about 2 months. And then this fall, around October, we have it's like a consumer PAX event kind of a thing. So it's called Lex Play. You can find more information at lexplay.com, I think it is. And yeah, that's all we have. So thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.